Hey, what's up? Welcome back. I'm George, and today we're going to walk under an actual steam engine, steam locomotive, on the Model Railroad Show. See, I'm out here at the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum. They have this awesome display where you can walk under number 1187 here right behind me into an inspection pit, so you can look up and see what the workers should be working when this baby pulled into the roundhouse. They got a couple of stations here to show you the major things that they were checking. The one thing I will say, the caveat of this, is these inspection pits were not this deep. When you walked into an inspection pit, it was only just like a few steps down, and you were actually ducking underneath these beams. And you can see from a display purpose, I can walk right underneath this beam. And the reason for that is the railroad sits actually, the rails are going to sit on top of that beam, and then the stuff that these workers would need to reach would be above that. So you would have to be able to reach everything standing on the ground. So interesting how they set this up, though. I've never seen a display like this. I think I do have a real shot of an actual inspection pit in a roundhouse that I'll show you so you can have an idea. But let's take a look and see see some of the major things they were checking out. And again, like when a steam engine pulled in a locomotive, there's a lot of stuff topside they were checking out, but there's also a lot of things underneath. And this is the setup of how they did it. All right, very cool. Let's take a look. As I said, this would have been much lower because you would have had to have needed to reach all of this. But what they have here is you're right underneath the engine frame, and they have each point. There were different points. When this thing came into the roundhouse, it would be inspected. And one of them here is the valve gear. You know, obviously checking for cracks, checking these pins. And then you can see the valve gear here, right way up above me. All right. Coming down, the other thing they'll be looking at are the brake shoes. All right, you see brakes on either driver wheel here. If we get around the corner. There's a nice shot of the wheel. You can see how the shoe, or the kind of the tire of the train, fits onto the driver. Little known fact, they had some, tires essentially that went on the outside of these that were, steel, so that they did not have to replace the drivers. All right, and then under here, next thing back, we got the equalizer springs, which in this engine are not that big. Pretty neat. Equalizer springs are what keep it stable going down the track so she doesn't tip over. So we got one there, and then we have a big old spring in the back, obviously. And then next, coming back, I'm going to step back. This is the ash pan. So when these engines pulled over the ash pit, this is where the ash would come from. All right. So you always want to maintain the ash pan so that failure for that thing to open all the way, could be caused with fire. And then you got your water hoses. All right, there, as you can see, this water hose is not going to pass inspection. All right. And then coming back here, these are the brake beams, which on the brakes to the tender here would ensure equal braking and distribution of the brakes. And they'd be checking a lot of stuff. Those are the big things. They'd be looking at all these bolts and everything else, making sure everything is tight, nothing's loose, nothing's cracked. They would be tapping stuff with a hammer. All right, pretty neat. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I figured I'd just come down here and show you underneath the train. Make sure you look out. I got a bunch of footage from the museum here. I'm not sure how I'm going to break it out yet, but I thought this was just a unique display. All right, and they've got a bunch of stuff out in the yard. If you've never been here, this is totally worth the trip. The stuff they have here preserved is unbelievable. All right, so listen, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up and ring the bell so that you know when I upload footage, and I will catch you in the next one. All right, later.